At the edge of town, there's an abandoned library no one dares to enter. They say if you listen closely when the wind blows, you can hear the books whispering. A girl named Sarah loved reading. She heard about the abandoned library, and one evening while no one was looking, she snuck inside to see if the books really did whisper. The building was dusty and dark, but the moonlight shone through the window, illuminating rows upon rows of ancient books. As she walked between the shelves, she could feel their dry, sandy pages brushing against her skin. And sure enough, when the wind blew through the broken window, she heard a whisper. But it wasn't the wind she was hearing. It was the books. They were whispering her name. She stopped. Had she imagined it? No! They were definitely whispering her name. Startled, Sarah ran her fingers along the spines of the books, trying to figure out which one was making the sound. And that's when she felt it again. Not the wind, but the books. Whispering, "Sarah! Sarah! Sarah!" Curiosity overcame her fear, and she opened one of the books. Inside, she found more whispers, not of the wind, but of her own voice. The book was filled with stories about her. Stories of her birth, her parents, her childhood, her hopes, her dreams. And then, to her horror, she saw her future written on the pages ahead of her. Sarah slammed the book shut, her heart pounding in her chest. How could this be? Was this some kind of magic book? Was she in some kind of danger? Before she could calm her racing thoughts, she heard a whisper from behind her. "Come! Come, Sarah!" Startled, she whirled around, but there was no one there. Yet the voice seemed to be coming from the books, from the very walls of the library. Curious and a little frightened, she walked deeper into the building, following the whispers. As she walked, more and more voices joined in, all whispering her name, all beckoning her forward. They were coming from every direction, above her, below her, all around her. The whispers grew louder and louder until she could barely think. And then she saw a door at the end of the hall. It was slightly ajar, and the voices seemed to be coming from behind it. Taking a deep breath, Sarah pushed the door open and stepped inside. The chamber was circular, and in the center sat a massive stone table. On it lay a giant ledger bound in leather. Its pages were filled with strange symbols and writing. And as Sarah approached, she heard a voice that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "This is the Book of Voices." With trembling hands, she opened it and gasped. On that page, she saw the names of every person who lived in the town. There were their pictures, their likes and dislikes, their secrets, their sins. And next to each person's name was written how they would die. Some had already died. Their names were crossed out in red ink, and their deaths had been recorded in chilling detail. Her eyes wide with horror, Sarah continued reading. She saw the mayor, his face pale and drawn, his eyes wide with fear, a dagger plunged into his heart. She saw the baker, his hands stained, a noose around his neck. She saw the schoolteacher, her arms cut off, her body lying in a pool of water. And then she saw her own name. Her lips trembled as she read her own story. Her own life laid bare before her eyes. But when she looked down, she saw that the last line was blank. Suddenly, the whispers grew louder, demanding that she'll do something. They urged her to pick up the pen and fill in the last line, to write her own ending. But before she could, the doors slammed shut behind her, trapping her in the chamber with the Book of Voices. Now hear me out. Do you think Sarah will be able to escape the library before it's too late? Or will she be trapped forever in the chamber with the Book of Voices? Let me know in the comments below.